Hello and welcome to StroongeCast episode 64.
Don't be sad.
Yeah, and you will hear more about that later. Or you will hear more about that later. Yeah, there we go. Notice the title is in all caps. At least the sad part.
Yes.
So there we are. But you were not sad this week. Tell us what you did.
I had a fantastic weekend in Copenhagen. So I went with my sister. We just stayed one night, so Saturday night. Did Saturday afternoon and most of the day on Sunday at the Christmas market at Tivoli Gardens. And yeah, we just had the most Christmassy, magical time. It was, yeah.
What is it that you saw out there that made it feel Christmassy?
Well, so to start off with, Tivoli Gardens is quite a landmark in Copenhagen. It's these really beautiful gardens, and then there's also like a small theme park, mainly for children. And at Christmas, they completely transform it. So there are just thousands and thousands of lights everywhere, Christmassy lights, Christmas trees everywhere. They bring like the little huts that you have at Christmas market. So if you've ever been to one, they have sort of these cute little wooden huts that are then decorated. Everything looks like it's a bit snowy.
Oh yeah.
You get, there's lots of little shops that sell extremely expensive, but some very cool things. Lots of sort of Christmas decorations and things like that, because Christmas is a big thing in Denmark. And as we've said before, my grandmother was Danish, so my name is Danish. So going back, it's just, going there because I've never been before. My sister has, but I haven't been before. It just felt really nice to sort of finally get there and be with people that, if anybody did need to say my name, which sadly no one did, but if they did, they would pronounce it 100%
the correctly.
Way. But yes, there's just lots of Christmassy things, lots of little stalls that were selling mulled wine, hot cider, hot chocolates, all those kind of things. The sort of caramelized nuts that you can get, churros.
I forgot what those are. They're like chocolate things, aren't they?
No, churros are sort of like a long, thin-ish pastry. Right. That's deep fried and so good. And then you can dip them in whatever, but we had them with chocolate and a little side of ice cream, which I've never had with churros before, and it was absolutely amazing. Oh. So it was just really magical. There's like quite a decent sized pond in the middle that had like an old replica Viking ship.
Oh yeah.
And these beautiful lit up lily pads and dragonflies, that like massive dragonfly lights with the wings, and then they had what looked like weeping willow trees that sort of hang down, and the lights all the way through it.
The wind in the willows.
Yeah, so that was amazing. So we went on the Saturday evening. And it, as you can imagine, was absolutely rammed. It was so packed.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, of course. But that was fine. You expect it to be. So we were there for a few hours then. And then we came back the next day, and it was much quieter, but obviously, you don't get the magical side of it because you haven't got the dark and the lights, are not so great, but it was still really, really fun. And we went into all the shops and did all of that stuff, and then found what was kind of not underground, but it was quite low down. Yeah. A sort of pub-like place, but not like more Scandinavian, I guess.
Do they even do pubs?
I don't know if they do, but do you know what? On the road, so where we stayed was basically, and everywhere we kind of went was just on the one main road. Oh, and there was an Irish pub, which is just really funny because I think every single city that you go to, there's always an Irish pub.
Yes, it does seem that way, doesn't it?
There really is.
No matter where you are.
Always an Irish pub, but I don't know if they do pubs as such. I'm not sure.
On our first cruise, there was an Irish bar specifically.
Yeah, there was.
There might have even been one on the other one, but we didn't find it.
Probably. There usually is.
There usually is.
So yeah, it was really fun, and we used the metro,
Yes.
which was really cool. We did get a little bit confused.
Turned around a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, because we'd seen a TikTok video, and this is just a lesson to never 100% trust people on TikTok. And the woman had shown you a walkthrough of how to do it. And she was right up until a certain point, how to get the tickets, what to purchase. And she said it's door to door, but it turned out it wasn't. And so we kind of went a few stops the wrong way. And then luckily, actually, it was my sister that noticed. And we got off, went back, went the right way. It was all fine. And then going back to the airport, we knew the route. So that was all fine. And actually, at the time, we were really hot and bothered because we expected it to be freezing cold. And so our parents had said, make sure you wear thermals and you have this and you have that. So we did. And then it wasn't that cold. And actually, the airport, the plane, and inside everywhere, including the train, is roasting.
Typical.
So we were a bit hot and bothered by that point. But in hindsight, we were like a little bit stressed. But it was fine. And in hindsight, it was actually really simple and really fine. It's just, when you're caught up in that moment, you're like,
That's stress of travel.
Yeah, exactly. It'd been a long day. We'd been up since 6. So,
What about on the Sunday? What time did you guys get up on the Sunday?
I think we got up about 9ish.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, I was awake before then, and we did go to bed early just because we were so exhausted, and I can't do these long days anymore. So, we needed the rest. But the market didn't open until 11, being a Sunday.
Oh, so you didn't miss anything?
No, we didn't miss anything.
I thought you guys had wasted the day away.
No, not at all. And also it was raining, like really heavily raining in the morning part. So we were like, well, we won't rush. We'll try and avoid the rain as much as possible. And then we went and found a nice cafe to have some Danish pastries. Which
you didn't eat very well in Denmark.
No, well, I'm vegetarian, and my mum had said to me, oh, it'll be fine. There'll be loads of vegetarian things. Like, they're really up on that. Like, it'll be great. And maybe it was just because of where we were. I don't know. But there was nothing vegetarian in the market. My sister had really wanted to have a bratwurst, which is German, but, they usually have them at Christmas market, sausage. And we thought, oh, maybe they'll have like a vegetarian alternative or something. No, they didn't. They didn't have anything. And then when we were looking for somewhere to have dinner on the Saturday night, we were Googling, we walked up and down the road, like looking for somewhere to have, and there was just nowhere that did. It's very heavily fish orientated.
Yeah. But you do sometimes like fish.
Yeah, but I'm not very fishy at the moment.
That in itself is fishy.
Yeah, I can't really do fish at the moment. I haven't for a little while. So that wasn't really an option. So it was quite hard. But we found a place called Hello Pasta that was 2 doors down from our hotel, which actually ended up being really nice. So
all that reminds me of is Hello Motto.
Yeah, exactly. No, but what I did want to say was when we went to the cafe for breakfast with the Danish pastries. So you know how previously we've talked about AI?
Yes.
And the sort of downside of it. Well, ChatGPT did come in handy, particularly on that day and the day before when we were getting a drink from the hotel from like one of those big massive fridges, you help yourself.
Oh yeah.
We didn't know what any of it said. So I just took pictures and put it into ChatGPT and said, what is this? Can you explain whatever? And that was really useful. Mm-hmm. So we were able to see what the pastries were, and that what looked like a cinnamon bun mixed with a cinnamon swirl was it translated into cinnamon snail, nice. Which I thought was really cool, and actually was really delicious. So that was really fun. AI was very helpful.
It has its uses.
It does have its uses.
Your flight was all right. Apart from
Yeah,
being
the flights
hot.
were fine. Yeah, it was
You did
really
fly
warm. It was
Ryanair.
Ryanair, which I've never flown before. And they don't have a great, they are known for being a real budget airline. And they are. Like
To the point of not even having seat pockets.
Yeah. So, the seats in front of you usually have that kind of netted bag, sort of hanging where you can put stuff. They don't have that anymore.
Well, you can't be bothered with that.
Well, I don't know if it's that or if it's partly because they have such a quick turnaround. Like you're queuing up to board as, and showing your boarding passes and everything as people are coming off the previous flight. So the turnaround is so quick. So I guess to have to look in all of those compartments and check for rubbish or if anything's there. Like I can see the point in it. It's just, got nowhere to put anything. When you're there with your bag and then your massive coat, and everybody had suitcases, mini suitcases. So we had hoped to put our coats in the overhead storage, but they were just full with all the bags, so we couldn't. So we, but it's fine. It's such a quick journey. By the time you get up there, and have a drink and you're landing.
Did you have a drink on the plane?
Yeah, going we bought a Coke and we'd brought some like little crisps because it was sort of 11 to 12. So we just wanted to have like a little snack, and it was so hot we just needed a cold drink by that point.
Yes.
Coming back, we'd bought water, so we were fine. And it was a late flight. It was an 11 o'clock flight coming home, so it was like at night, so it was quite late. The other thing I did want to mention was at the recycling, cup recycling machine. Yeah, so
we should do more of that here.
We should do that here. So when you buy a drink, you get it in a plastic cup. And we didn't know this, so I actually feel really guilty because the first drinks that we bought on the evening, no one told us. No one said anything. There was no signage, nothing. And there's only a few of these machines around. So I had no idea. So I threw it away because I didn't know any different. And then we came across this thing. And the next day when we got another drink, the guy was so nice and friendly and said, oh, by the way, you pay an extra 5 krona, I think it was, 50, either or. And you take the plastic cup to the machine and recycle it and you'll get that coin back. We're like, oh, that's great. Thank you for telling us. We did know by this point, but, that was really nice that he actually told us. Basically, you go up to the machine, you open a little slot, stick your cup in upside down, close the lid, and it goes, zhoop, takes it away, and out comes a little coin.
Nice.
And so then they collect them all, wash them, reuse them, recycle them.
Tell us about the Danish coinage as well. It's interesting.
Oh, the coins. Well, we only saw because, everything is done on your phone, so we didn't actually have any cash. But the coins that you get, they are, 5 krona. So they don't use euros there. It's Danish krona. And the coin is maybe 2.5 centimeters in diameter, round silver coin. And then in the middle, there's a perfect little hole.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you could thread it onto a piece of string or something. It's very cool.
Imagine a coin necklace.
Yeah.
It'd be heavy.
It would be
just
very
like
heavy.
Run around with these.
But so we got 2. So I brought them home to show you and the kids because I just thought, I don't know what I could have used it for. But yeah.
I just saw that and coins. I was really surprised that they had a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
I called it a polo coin.
It is like a polo coin, yeah.
So weird.
But yeah, it was a really nice weekend.
Sounds like it. Well, I'm glad you got there and got back safely.
You did.
What happened the day before you left? Anything?
You surprised me with my Christmas present.
I'm bad about that.
You're not bad. I don't think in the 18 years as of this week that we've been together, I think there's maybe been twice that you've actually given me a present on an actual Christmas Day or birthday.
There was the Swarovski earrings once. I think that's it. I can't think of another time.
I don't know. But you are amazing and so generous. especially this year, because we've had new phones, new watches, new everything. So you got me they're the newest ones, right?
They are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy you some second-rate product. No, I'm kidding.
No, but sometimes the newest ones aren't always, the best of something. So I just wanted to double check that they were. They are the newest AirPods, Apple AirPods. So that was really cool. They just sort of arrived in the evening, ready for me to charge and take with me.
That was the plan, yeah.
Yeah, which was really nice because then I was able to give my previous ones that there was nothing wrong with them.
No, they were still fine.
Yeah, they were still great. But I have passed them on to my sister, who was very, very happy.
Well, it's nice that you can give your siblings hand-me-downs. My brother always gets my old stuff too.
Yeah, but I don't want it to feel like, oh, here's my hand-me-down,
Oh, but if it works, then it's good. It's
yeah, no, but work. Sometimes there's that connotation, isn't there? Particularly when you're the younger sibling of.
Oh no, I know Dwayne loves coming here because I know I nearly always have something for him.
You always give him something, I know. So. Well, that's it. And my sister would never ever have bought anything like that for herself. She had her headphones, but I know she's been enjoying them, and it was really nice to have them on the trip. And it made it really easy. So we downloaded some TV shows on my iPad that we were able to then watch on the plane.
Because you can share audio.
Yeah, you can share audio, which is so clever.
Yeah.
Because the last time we went away, a couple of years ago, when we went to France, I had to get like a headphone splitter, and we had wired headphones that went into that and into it. So that was a bit more of like, it was fine, but they're not.
You don't have quality. Your own volume then.
No, and it's not great quality, and you've got cables everywhere and all of that. So yeah, that having the shared audio is.
And you can really cancel out the screaming children on the airplane as well, don't forget.
Yeah, there actually weren't any.
Makes a change.
Yeah, no screaming children. It was all fine.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, pretty quick.
And then you got back on the 1st of December.
Yeah. Advent. We always do Advent in this house.
Yeah, and
Advent calendars.
You didn't just chill. No. What did you do in the evening?
On Monday evening?
Yes.
Or when I got home? Well, Alice loves to put the Christmas tree up on the 1st of December. So even though I was really, really exhausted, I decided that was what we were going to do. So we did. We put up the tree, the decorations, and just had a really nice afternoon, evening, decorating the house and making it all nice again.
Yeah. And here we are in December.
Yep.
This will be our second Stroonge Christmas.
It will. Yeah.
Which is really crazy to think about.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then the day after it was our 18 years together, not 18 years married.
So
18 years. We celebrate 2 anniversaries because we like to do that.
We do, yeah.
It's
just
fun.
because it's nice, isn't it?
And we met at a cool time of year.
Yeah.
So we ordered some sushi, even though you weren't fishy. And you didn't have fish, to be fair. I didn't have fish. Actually, I did. I had salmon, but my main dish was a chicken dish, which I love. I ordered double chicken teriyaki.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so flavoursome. I love it.
Yeah. We always order from the same place, and they always come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one time I think we ordered, and 2 hours later it still wasn't there, and it was a different place. And they were just really bad at communicating, and we were so hungry at that point.
Yeah, but we stick with Itsu.
We do now.
And that's always
been good.
Always really good.
Yeah, my week has not been anything like yours. It's been very quiet. Just sneaking in a little last-minute present because I love gift giving. It's actually so fun.
We should talk about Alice, though, and how she basically just completely filled my shoes.
She ran the house.
Yeah.
Brilliantly.
Well, you should say, because you were here with her, what she did.
Yes, so on the Saturday morning, I got up and I had a shower. And I came out of the shower, having, done the bed a cursory glance, as I do. And we always have cushions and pillows on the bed in a very specific way. It's your thing. And I was like, oh, mini mummy's in the house. Alice was awake and she had done the bed like you do it.
Yep.
And she was on dinner duty, so she sorted out everybody's dinner. So that was really cool.
But she'd also made you tea and done your flask with water and breakfast.
I forgot
she'd
about
done
that.
it all for you.
Yeah. So it was like you had never left.
No, I did say, well, maybe I'll just stay here because I'm not needed at home anymore.
Oh, no.
I'll stay here amongst my people.
That's what she wrote.
Yeah.
And on the Sunday, Jake and I decided that we would have a lunch from our favourite street vendor called Shah. And so we had that. And Alice had done pancakes for herself a bit earlier. So she had pancakes. She's very good at that.
Yeah.
She really has the knack of doing really amazing pancakes.
Yeah. She's so cute though, because when I came home on Monday, she said to me, "Oh, Mummy, I only did a few things, but I really see it's so hard being you." I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It was
No,
very
that's fair.
cute. Yeah.
And you didn't come home to like a nasty palace of bachelorosity and parties and litter everywhere. No,
Never.
you wouldn't have known.
No.
We did actually have a massive party, but
I believe it.
we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the neighbours from every house.
Traipsing through.
Yeah. Swinging from the chandelier that we don't have.
That's why the cat was so vocal when I came home, because she had to tell me.
Yeah.
Just grassing you up.
That's what it was. Bloody hell. So that's been it. What a very long intro to today's topic. And now for the topic itself. Actually wrong. Now for the quiz.
I was going to say.
I know. It's been, yeah.
So
Threw me out of whack.
we've talked so long already.
I know.
So last week's quiz question was, which country banned time travel in movies?
I couldn't even think of where it would. Let's just guess Italy for the sake of it. It won't be, but...
No. It is China.
Oh, right. You know why? Because they could probably build it.
Maybe.
They are legitimately clever. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere in a basement, in someone's mum's basement, is a working time machine in China.
Maybe.
So they banned it to stop others doing the same thing.
Okay, so this week's question
Is.
what animal is known to laugh when tickled?
Oh. I thought that was only a human trait.
No.
Well, now I'm curious. All right. So, don't be sad, she says.
Don't be sad.
What are we not supposed to be sad about?
So SAD stands for seasonal affective disorder,
Yes.
which a lot of people, and I think a lot of people don't realise that they suffer from this time of year. It's also known as like the winter depression.
Yeah.
Because it becomes more severe as you go into winter. So the symptoms include things like persistent low mood, not really having any interest or pleasure out of normal daily activities, things that you would normally enjoy, being irritable, sort of feeling worthless, feeling of despair, feeling lethargic, having a lack of energy, sleeping for longer than normal and finding it hard to get up in the morning.
Wow.
Can be difficulty concentrating, craving certain foods, carbohydrates, sugary foods for that sort of energy.
Oh, yeah.
And having a decreased sex drive. So all these different things can be symptoms of that. They obviously can be symptoms of regular depression and other problems. So I guess if you're feeling like it, seeking help is always, medical help is always a good thing, just to sort of rule anything else out. But then looking at SAD and sort of trying different techniques, I suppose I thought we could talk about maybe some suggestions.
It's a good idea.
Or things that, might help if you're feeling like you might be experiencing this.
Well, I did think I was pregnant last week because I just out of nowhere, about 7 a.m, started craving a kebab like nobody's business. Just wanted a dirty kebab.
Dear. Oh, listen, if you are pregnant, you're the one doing the night feeds with that baby.
Okay.
I've done my time.
Twice.
Yes, that's what I mean. I'm done.
Okay. No, that's fair. I didn't get my kebab
No.
because it was 7 a.m.
Yeah, it's probably not appropriate. Kebab for breakfast.
Well, look, people have cold pizza for breakfast and lunch.
True. Very true.
Kebab is okay.
So what do you think? Do you think you have or do suffer at all with SAD?
I didn't think I did until you mentioned some of the symptoms a couple of days ago. And the day before you left, I said, I just need to get out of here. So you and I went for a 15-minute walk to Marks and Spencer's to pick up dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed being out of the house for a short time like that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm in here and it can be weeks on end, literal weeks.
Yeah.
And it's because there's just no way for me to go. In the daytime, you're out doing errands and things, and I'm here doing whatever, music or teaching. And then after school, we're home with the kids and they're doing homework and stuff. So it can literally be weeks,
Yeah.
sometimes even months of me being between
And you're not
here in the bedroom.
gigging in the same way
No.
as what you used to a few years ago. So you're not going out in that
Weekends.
respect. Yeah.
Used to be more weekends.
Mm.
So yeah, it can be a really long time between me setting foot outside the house. And then when you said you were going to go pick up dinner, I was like, yeah, I'm going to come.
Yeah.
So we went down the road together. And it's actually really nice. We just talked about life and stuff. A bit like we do on the podcast, really.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that they talk about causes for SAD is, or the main theory, because they don't know 100%, but I mean, it makes sense. It's the lack of sunlight.
Yes. And this time of year in the UK, we
exactly.
do suffer
So,
from that.
you know, the production of melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy, it may be that your body is producing higher than normal levels of that.
Yeah.
Also serotonin, which is the mood hormone affecting your appetite and sleep, and the lack of sunlight might lead to a lower level of that. It's also like the happy hormone, so you know that can make you feel quite low if you're not getting enough.
Somewhere in the world, there is a little girl called serotonin.
Probably. There's also the internal body clock, which is the circadian rhythm. So, you know, your body is used to a certain amount of daylight and waking up and it being light, and, you know, that.
Have you heard
light
of
and dark.
non-24?
Non-24?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, look that up.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of blind people suffer with this. I don't. And I think it's because I live in a predominantly sighted household. But from what I know of people that have it, they don't have a proper day-night cycle. So they can sleep during the day and be awake at night, or vice versa, or just any time drop down, sleep, any time wake up, be awake for a couple of hours.
Yeah, it does say that it's most common in totally blind individuals.
Yeah, but it's never been my thing, oddly. And I think it is because I've nearly always been around sighted people. I don't know if that's the cause or if that's just some people do and some people don't. Like, I don't know.
Could be.
But I know people that do suffer with that tend to be isolated.
Well, yeah, because the world isn't as awake and alive at the, you know, in the night. But yeah, so
But I thought it kind of relates to SAD in a way because
yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're talking to people remotely, as we all did, especially during a period of like 2-3 years, very predominantly. You don't have to follow your own, locale up and down cycle. You might follow the majority of your friends, which might be, 5 hours behind you one way or the other way, or 10 hours in front. Like, you don't know. And so the body has nothing to stick to. And if you can't see the outside world, then your eyes aren't bothered when you're sleeping at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that is, the daylight, that is kind of a big factor in SAD. It's that everything is so dark and grey and miserable, and you wake up and it's dark, and you go to work and it's dark, and you leave work and it's dark, and there's just not dark, exactly. There's just not enough daylight.
I think solar panels must feel sad as well.
Yeah. You need...
But in Australia,
Rain.
of course, they have barbecues on the beach at Christmas, which I think is so bizarre, but really interesting.
Yeah, but that's just because the seasons are...
Oh, I know it's
Flipped.
just like flipped, but it's just
Yeah.
that kind of fascinates me when you think about us over here with like our 0.1% sun a week. Like
It does feel like that this week.
it does.
So what are some things that maybe you could do to help? So we already talked about, speaking to a healthcare professional,
Yeah.
speaking to your GP, your doctor, whatever, if things are really difficult. But I think one of the main things that comes up for treatment is a lifestyle measures. So trying to get as much natural sunlight as possible. So,
Open the curtains and the
yeah,
blinds
open
and
the
stuff.
curtains, getting out, even if you are just walking to the end of the road and back, I think it's like you did, like you said. And that's the thing. I think we need to adopt more this winter, especially, is to say, I'm coming with you to run these ridiculous errands or whatever it might be, just to get out of the house, because
It helped.
It did help, and it
felt
is
good.
important. And I think you just become complacent, don't you? Of, can't be bothered. It's cold. It's damp. I don't want to go out. Why would I want to? To sort of be dragged around boring things with me, but actually...
No, I never thought that at all, actually. Not in this instance, of course. I was shopping for my dinner, so
You were shopping for your dinner.
it wasn't boring to me.
But in other occasions...
You know what? I even thought I'd go clothes shopping. Well, shoe shopping. Because I do want to get myself some new trainers. So
We did try that before, and we found it really hard to find you.
I know. Look, I'm just happy with the same set, to be honest. It's comfy in the work.
I know.
Trainer shopping is difficult. Shopping can be difficult.
Shopping is long-winded.
It is.
Yes.
But I do really like when I can say, take the kids to Westfield and stuff.
Yeah, your little outings with the kids are always good.
Yeah.
There's also, another thing is exercising. So if you can't leave the house for whatever reason, just trying to do some kind of even mild exercise in the house, walking around, doing some stretches, yoga, all those kind of things, that really helps boost the serotonin levels. There's also light therapy, which is where you get a special lamp which is called a light box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it simulates the sunlight, so that can be really good for the body.
I should get one of those for my desk.
Yeah, that might be really helpful.
I never thought of that.
And then there's talking therapies, or even just talking to your friends. It doesn't have to be in a therapy way. I think communication,
there's a lot of stigma around that.
Yeah, there is a lot of stigma, and there shouldn't be, because actually having an impartial person to talk to, especially when you feel like you don't really have reasons to be sad. Right. You just are, sometimes you don't need to have a big reason. Your life doesn't need to be awful for you to feel sad, depressed, anxious. Sometimes those feelings just are. And so it can feel really hard to explain that to a friend or family member.
Yes.
Especially, if you're met with, well, what have you got to be sad about? You're fine. Your life is great.
There's a lot of judgment from people closest to you.
There can be. Yeah, there can be. So, sometimes
don't necessarily mean to be, but
no,
they know you, and they think they know you.
Well, because sometimes people's attitude is, oh, just pull yourself together, you'll be fine.
Pull your socks up.
Yeah, and that's
not helpful.
For some people that works, but for other people it doesn't. So sometimes you need a third party, someone who doesn't know you, who's impartial, who's not going to judge you because they're trained to, listen and help suggest ways to improve whatever it is that you're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what would you suggest as somebody who is in the house quite a lot, ways to sort of keep that communication and stuff up with, friends or family?
I don't know, because honestly, like most of the time, my life is easygoing. So even if I am sad, I'm never so depressed or sad that I want to, take myself away kind of thing.
Mm.
So, like, I always feel I don't have much to complain about. So it's different for me versus someone who really suffers with it in all caps.
Yeah.
I
But
get
I mean,
sad
just
in lowercase.
trying to
and I
keep, yourself in touch with the world. Because
Yeah.
you are quite active, you have a lot of WhatsApp groups that you're part of. You communicate with people all the time, all over the world.
Yeah.
You reach out to people, you play online music.
This helps. This is actually one of those
Yeah.
keeping things that keeps me going, actually,
Yeah.
is playing online.
It's like your musical outlet.
Yes.
It's
the way I virtually leave the house. Some people do it through gaming and, their online games.
Which you've also been doing, gaming as well. But the music is obviously a bigger thing for you.
But so far, that's all been offline gaming. I'm waiting to game with some people. There's a lot more people getting Switches. So we have a WhatsApp group for that too now.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Switch 2 owners. Blind.
Yeah, see?
That's been fun. But we haven't actually managed to arrange a tournament yet, which I'd love to do. But yeah, every week for the last few months, we've tried to pick a day specifically and play together. And that has been really good, coming up with some good stuff.
Mm.
And I think I said last week as well, I feel more myself again musically. So I've been playing a lot more, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I haven't for a long, long time. So even though the time of year is now for a lot of sad, I'm not feeling it as much as I have been in previous years, which is nice.
Yeah.
And there's a project that I work on for myself called the Shorts Project. And I want to get back to that because I looked at the date and it's so weird to me because time just passes by so quickly. The last time I did anything on that was 2023, May of.
Wow.
I know. And I'm upset with myself. Sad, if you will.
No.
I want to get back to working on those because they're enjoyable. But I need to just push myself past the block. And I think when I do it maybe once, it may be easier. But there's it's something
just
to
getting
overcome.
into it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do though, because I find myself working really well when I do that, is to live stream my process. Because I think I mentioned this before, but if I'm on camera, I feel like I kind of have to perform then because I'm being watched.
Yeah.
And I think it's the pressure, which is good for me. Some people don't work well under pressure, but I do, of being watched. That makes me actually work.
Yeah, you are really good sort of on the spot.
Yeah.
And things like that.
My brain changes lanes and I'm fine. Because I think, you know what it is I can hold myself, what's the word, culpable? I don't think that's the word I want. Accountable. Yeah. So if I'm here and I start something and I don't like it, no one will ever know because I don't save it.
Yeah.
But if I'm streamed, then you will know if I don't save it. And therefore, I'm accountable to myself and to the people watching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I want to do to become anti-sad. Go back to my Saturday lives. I did one recently, 2-3 hours long. Loved it. Got a lot of feedback, interaction. Helped a lot. And it kind of, set the bug. So that's something for me. But that's a very me-specific thing. Everybody will have their ways of coping with the sad. I think it is right?
Yeah.
The sad.
I think so.
Do you feel it this time of year?
No, not really. I think this time of year, particularly leading up to Christmas, I love Christmas so much.
Yeah, you are a very positive girly.
So for me, I am just so excited that everything is Christmassy around. So that part, I would say maybe a little bit sort of earlier in the new year because
it's January and January sucks.
Nothing really happens. You've done with Christmas. It's cold, it's wet, it's damp, it's
all of that.
Nothing sort of fun or exciting really happens. But I wouldn't say that I have sad.
That's
I
good.
think it's, I don't think it's something that I really struggle with, to be honest. But
You know, I
Yeah.
was thinking about this because there haven't been enough studies done on it because it hasn't been long enough. But I wonder how the kids felt during lockdown, if they suffered from their own version of sad, but they couldn't articulate it because they were young. I mean, that is something that we growing up never ever had to deal with, right?
Yeah,
But they
that's
were
true.
off school for literal months, unable to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that will have an effect, even if they feel happy-go-lucky and whatever else. I mean, it's years gone by now, but that doesn't mean they won't remember that for the rest of their days. So I wonder if they thought about that and if they feel or have any remembrances of it.
I don't know.
And
I
not
mean,
even
I
just
think,
ours, other people's too.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there must be.
Because adults, I mean, you know, they say that when you're young, you forget your early years quicker. But I know I've forgotten what it felt like a lot of the time, everybody being around, because you almost put bad stuff behind you.
Yeah.
But kids will remember it a different way.
No, it's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Just
I
kind of,
guess-
yeah, came to me.
Yeah.
So
don't
what do you think about mitigation? If you were trying to mitigate for yourself on the spot, what would you do?
If I was
Feeling it. Like,
feeling sad.
yeah, quite seriously.
Yeah. I guess I would just try and find things that I enjoy and try and focus on that.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky in that the things that make me happy are very easy to hand. They're, you know, spending time with you and the kids and
And the animals too.
the animals. You know, I get a huge amount of joy from being with animals in any form. I love all animals, but you know, I'm lucky enough that we've got 2 here. And so yeah, for me, I think I've always got something pretty much on hand to help me.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I don't have like a big group of friends. I have my one very good friend and I have my sister
Yeah.
who I speak to every single day. So I think if I was feeling a bit, you know,
Blue.
off that day or blue or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, I would speak to
It's where the blues comes
speak to
from.
her. Yeah.
I'll get you singing a blues. I'll play it for you. You can just
Want me to sing the blues?
one Monday morning.
Oh dear.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'll sing you a Christmas song instead.
All right. I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Maybe.
been playing Christmas songs.
You have been.
It's been fun.
Yeah. See? Get you in the spirit too.
I don't look. My switch flips come December 1st. I'm fine.
I know.
Anytime before that, you just got to stop.
I know.
Jake is the same way.
Jake is the same. Yeah.
We talked about that.
It's because you two are just a carbon copy.
Yeah, basically, it's
Yeah.
really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
He's just me with sight.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and he doesn't play music.
No.
But in every other respect, the way
Yeah.
the food we enjoy, the technology we love. Yeah, he's a baby me.
He is a you.
I'm turning Alice into the music though.
You are. She's got such an ear for it. That's why.
I don't understand.
She's incredible.
I really don't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can train her up further because she
She's amazing.
has the potential to be really good.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah, I do love that. That's like my bonding time with her is over the piano. I sat her down in front of Complete Control a couple weeks ago. And I just said, "Here's how you browse sounds. Go play stuff." And she did that. And with Jake, we bond over the tech stuff. And it's so interesting how each child has their own, I don't know, differences.
Yeah, she's got that interest, I think. And she's just got this incredible ear that she listens to something, and even though she has no real training
No.
in how to play, and I don't think she always remembers what the keys are,
No.
she can hear it once or even just hum it to herself
and start working
it out. And very quickly, she's almost perfected that little snippet of sound. Like
That's one of the
incredible.
many reasons I'm glad we have a real piano.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because otherwise she'd have to ask me to like de-headphone or turn the speakers up to play a thing, and she would never do it. But with the piano, she can just lift the lid any time and do it. And I'm very, very glad about that. So yeah, we've had the piano 10 years now. I mean, because we've been here 10 years, so the piano is 10 years old to us.
Yeah.
And this episode is old too. It's long now.
Mm-hmm.
So how about something a bit more cheerful? You've got a fun story for us.
I do, which seems to have run away from where I had it. So, okay. So, our story this week is about a drunk raccoon who goes on the rampage in a liquor store before passing out in the bathroom. Yeah. So, the suspect was described as very intoxicated by the Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter. So this raccoon broke into an American liquor store, ransacked the stock before passing out in the bathroom. The following morning, an officer was asked to investigate reports of break-in, but was astonished to find the aisle soaked with booze and littered with smashed bottles. The officer then found himself in the bathroom, where they discovered the raccoon sleeping between the toilet and the bin. And there is a picture, and the raccoon is just like splat on his front, arms out at the front, arms out at the back, just absolutely
Hammered.
passed out.
That's so great.
It says, a statement said, Officer Martin safely secured our masked bandit and transported him back to the shelter to sober up before questioning. After a few hours of sleep and zero signs of injury other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, he was safely released back into the wild, hopefully having learned that breaking and entering is not the answer. I just think it's brilliant.
No drinking.
No.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Let's hope he was over the age.
Well, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? What would your mother say?
Exactly.
Oh, dear.
So we will include that.
We indeed will.
That link.
Do you have a fun picture you want me to include for artwork this week? Anything from your trip away, or even the tree or anything? Yeah,
I can send you something.
All right.
Definitely.
So on YouTube, you'll see a picture of whatever that will be. I don't yet know.
I'll do a Christmas tree from the market. A lit up Christmas tree.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're seeing the artwork for this week on YouTube. So if you want to know and you don't listen on YouTube normally, and you want to see the Danish Christmas tree market, well, Danish Christmas tree in the market, head over to YouTube and take a look there. Just remember, these are not video podcasts, so you won't see us necessarily, but sometimes we do like to change out the fascia of the episode for you. I wish we could do that on Spotify and Apple Music too, but sadly cannot be done. But what can be done is you reaching out to us. There's YouTube comments, there's Spotify comments, there's also us on the Fediverse or Mastodon if you like. You can find us at StroongeCast at here-me.social. And that way, if you write to us there, both of us will be able to read it. And there's also the contact form on the StroongeCast website. So a couple ways, well, more than two, because a couple is two. I always say that, and I usually mean a few or more. A few, there we go. Different ways you can reach out to us. And I always forget to mention the newest one, which is Mastodon. But it has been around for a few weeks. And we are trying to increase our follower count over there. I think we've got 50 followers, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And actually, we recently did a poll over there on how you listen to podcasts. And I specifically didn't mention ours by name, but podcasts in general. I've got 10 options. I'm not going to read them to you. But if you want to fill it out, go over to the StroongeCast Mastodon account, if you have a Mastodon account, or some way of linking up with the Fediverse, and post your answer in the poll. It's multiple choice, so you can pick more than one. Yeah.
Cool.
This has been a long one, so I hope you found it enjoyable / interesting, hopefully give you some food for thought, and don't be sad, as we say. Yeah. Until next time, though.